Okay, we had two questions online to start with.
Okay.
The first question is, any estimation on how large a spill has to be considered significant to a community population's effect? 1 gallon, 10,000 gallons, 1 million gallons, etc. Dr. Pinckney, can you hear us?
I think it all depends on the system and the residence time and the mixing that occurs. These large disastrous oil spills are bad, but when you look at the quantities, they're the small spills that are chronic exposures to a lot of these communities. And so I think any spill, depending on what the type of oil that it is, whether it's a refined or a crude oil product, or how long the organisms are actually exposed is just as important as how big the spill is.
And I would add that it also depends on what population you're talking about, what species you're talking about. Some things are more sensitive than others. So it's definitely context dependent. It's a hard question to answer because of that.
I also want to add, not in terms of community and population structure, but to be wary of the media, and they'll have different, thresholds for what they call a large or a medium or a small spill, that it is context dependent. So make sure you're checking your source on what a large spill really constitutes.
I'm turning y'all around. Okay. Sorry. There, that's
Go ahead and make the second.
okay. Yeah, the second question, would you read it into the microphone since you can see it up there? Or move it back where you can see it.
So the next question is, based on area coverage or percent of area covered by oil, how do we take the lab data and transition it to field decision making?
That's part of what we try to do with our population estimates, because these things really do have to be considered over the long term in terms of how vital rates are impacted in the context of habitat availability and how that's impacted. So I think some of the ecological modeling approaches get us there. There's still some things that are harder to estimate from lab to field, but it's a good start as far as simulating what these impacts could look like on a larger scale.
I also want to add, of course, like my research that I'm doing does not explicitly apply to in the field. Kind of these abnormalities I'm seeing in adults, they're likely not to survive to adulthood. However, setting up in lab experiments allows us to grow them up and have a better idea of biomarkers to look for, which would inform future modeling that would not be available in an in-field kind of experiment.
Absolutely, and using those biomarkers for particular contaminants of interest or particular effects in the constituent cells and acids can help with the preliminary steps of just identifying potentially problematic responses in organisms without all of the lab effort and work that goes into it. So those approaches are very useful as well.
I also want to add that using the lab approaches is a really good way. When you go out to measure things in the field, there can often be so many confounding variables. And that was definitely the case with this field. We had the diversion opening to keep the oil pushed out, so you have some potential salinity effects happening. You got a closure of the fishery. You got all these different things going on that could mask effects of the spill or not. So having some lab cause and effect in addition to field would be, I think, the strongest approach.
We have another question online that just came up. At the bottom for Dr. Ackerman, what are your thoughts on why the Deepwater Horizon scat oiling categories didn't match sediment TPH levels?
Yeah, that's a good question. Their oil tends to be really patchily distributed, so even though a severe category might have been representative of a larger area that someone was looking at, it's still possible to find areas within that coastline that may not have had as much oil. It's also really volatile component, so over time it can shift the distribution.
anybody in the room have questions?
I have one.
Sure.
Ms. Hess, you did your study on the genes and what was going on with the jellyfish and everything. Has anything been done studying the effects of other fish or birds that eat those fish?
Absolutely. There's been studies on red drum, which are of particular interest, where they've done adult exposures. The problem with doing exposures with larger fish, which other labs do, is you have to make a large volume of oil, and you somehow have to consistently make that oil in terms of composition. As Dr. Hoffman alluded to, even in a lab setting, maintaining a constant oil concentration is very difficult. So usually what they'll do is like a dosing every 4 days, where they'll hit the adults. Red drum, they've done mahi-mahi. Dr. Martin in Florida has, they'll hit them, and then over time, if you follow the oil concentration, you see this decline in oil constituents. So yes, it has been done in other fish. There have been incidences of reproductive inhibition, problems with vascular system.
My question didn't deal with the oil affecting the bigger fish, but the bigger fish eating the smaller fish.
Oh.
If that had any effect on the bigger fish.
Well,
But
absolutely.
we're not part of.
As part of experimentally doing it. Well, you always have potential for bioaccumulation. Of course, that's kind of the idea when you go out into the field. Typically, you don't want to eat the old fish. They've been around, they've seen some stuff. They've been able to accumulate, whether it's oil or any other toxicant that's in the environment. So there's absolutely potential for that. In the case of the deepwater horizon, it was so spatially different portions of the coastline had such different levels of exposure. I can't tell you specifically to what extent that was, but it's absolutely possible.
So I actually was wondering, you're talking, especially Dr. About the difference between the scat surveys and the pHs in the sediments. How much do you think sediment characteristics have anything to do with the pHs actually being leveled in the sediments? Obviously, each is the catchment distribution of their grain size distributions and other levels of organics, etc., that are in your actual sediment samples. So do we know how those other sediment characteristics might have contributed to the retention of pHs maybe in sediments, or whether they wash out? Or?
In general, I would think like the finer particulates would hang on to the oil more. You're going to see it more readily incorporated into those types of substrates. So arguably a more impact on these types of areas.
That might be like where there's some disconnect potentially. I could see like if a scat team was out there and the assessment area being like impacted, but maybe you had very different sediment characteristics than other areas. Would that create this disconnect between what the team was assessing it as versus what they were measuring it at?
Yeah, but in general, I don't know, there would tend to be a lot of variability in terms of the spatial and temporal frequency, just because it was sort of an on-fly operation, it was a little bit unpredictable. So a lot of times those observations would be meant to represent a fairly large area, and it could be that they covered different substrate types. In general, though, the sediment that was compared to that category was sampled from within the same range, so it might not vary too much. But yes, there were some cases in which those distributions covered a fairly large area.
Just a statement, if y'all could repeat the question or summarize the question so the people online can't hear what's being said in the audience.
That was another question about scat category discrepancy based on the particulate matter and the grain size of the substrate.
Go ahead.
Next thing, over the 10 years since Deepwater Horizon blew out, do you think we have seen the biological effects, or should we expect to see additional effects biologically? Especially where the fishing is concerned. That's regular.
So the question was, have we seen the biological effects? Have we seen the peak in the negative impacts? And I would say that after the Exxon Valdez spill, the crash didn't occur until something like 8 years after. So I'm really wary to say this is over, especially because a lot of the oil gets down in the southern. So you can go to Exxon Valdez, and you can still dig up oil. You can go to Barataria Bay and still dig up oil, and it looks like fresh oil. It hasn't weathered. It's got all those volatile, nasty compounds. So if a hurricane comes in and resuspends everything, redistributes it, you can have this all over again.
Not to mention that there are a fair number of continuous seeking oil sources besides just single catastrophic events. So it's not like we seal everything off completely.
Is there a certain time of the year or situation, scenario, whatever you call it, that would have an estuary being more naturally protected from an oil spill? Not an immediate, because where what I'm looking at, it's more of, okay, this time of the year I've got to worry about mainly birds or fish, or is there a time where I'm going to be able to step in and say, okay, it's a little bit more protected right now, as opposed to 6 months from now?
Yes, I mean, I think this gets to some transport circulation issues, and so, I mean, if it's not a subsurface oil spill and you're dealing with just surface oil, the spring discharge periods are going to be pushing a lot of fresh water out of these systems, and the surface circulation is primarily going to be pushing things out, and so you're less likely to get water entrained in estuaries during spring or high flow seasons relative to drier seasons where they're going to be more susceptible to material moving into these systems. So I think there's at least some seasonality to it. A lot of the northern Gulf has a seasonality to the coastal circulation. So depending on where you are relative to an offshore oil spill, you may not have to worry about oil. This is what we saw with Deepwater Horizon. Texas really didn't get hit very hard. Really, I don't even know if Texas got hit at all by this oil spill. And that was because the spill happened in April. The seasonal circulation in the northern Gulf is currents tend to go from west to east, and so that's why Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi, sort of after Louisiana, those are the states that got hit, is because the seasonal circulation goes from west to east. So it put those systems more at risk than sort of the Texas area. And so there is seasonality in a lot of aspects of coastal circulation. So understanding river discharge, understanding shelf circulation, would be very helpful to sort of assessing where you need to put your response efforts. Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, I don't even remember what the exact question
I think he was probably close enough that people could hear. Yeah. It's the people in the very back of the room that the mic can't pick up.
Right. I do have a question, speaking of submerged aquatic vegetation.
Walk over.
So my question is that you showed that there was some, when some of the submerged aquatic vegetation was exposed to oil, they had shallower roots. So that obviously has impacts on their stability within the system, and assuming erosion impacts as well. Has there been any studies as far as how, like total spatial impact, how that would occur, or is it just?
No, there's not been any field-based studies because submerged vegetation is pretty hard to monitor. Right. So around here, it's turned water, so you can't do aerial surveys very efficiently. You have to do diver-based, core-based estimates, and it would take a long time and pretty costly and field effort. So for that reason, submerged aquatic vegetation in general in this area is not monitored as well as emergent vegetation. So that's sort of a gap in our knowledge that we could try to address in the future.
2 questions for Charles. Do you know whether larger herbivores also prefer oiled vegetation over non-oiled vegetation, or is this behavior only seen in arthropods? And do you think that because they are eating less than they normally would, there's not as much of an impact to their health?
Yeah, those are great questions. And
I'm okay saying I don't know. In terms of mammals, manatees, I don't know of any studies showing manatee preference for oiled areas, unoiled areas. And then the long-term effects of eating this oiled vegetation. How does an oiled plant, function nutritionally for later in life? And those are great questions that if you have some money, I'd be happy to do some studies. Thank you for the question.
Go ahead and thank our speakers again.